Let's just put on some music. Here we go. Right. Let's wait up for the feed. Here we go. Can't see the feed yet. There's a slight delay before the feed comes through. Birding, can you see the feed yet?
No, nothing yet.
Nothing yet. Come on, feed. There we go. Ooh, there it is. We're on.
Yay.
Always forget to turn the volume down. There we go. There's always a scary moment. Will it work? Will it not work? Right, let's just pop it there. Oh, no, don't want that.
So is this live on those channels now? Because I'm not doing a live stream, so it is live now.
No, it's live right now. Yeah. Okay. Just counting down now, and here we go. Well, oi oi people, it's a Tuesday morning, folks, here in the UK, and it's just after 8:45 UK time in the morning. And we are live with Leaderslive, spreading the love, folks, spreading the love. And as usual, we're streaming out on a whole bunch of channels this morning. We're streaming out on LinkedIn. We're streaming out on 2 Facebook groups. We're streaming on Twitter, I think, and YouTube. So all of those things, God knows how all that lot works, but it comes together somehow. If you're new to Leaderslive, please say hello to us in the comments, folks. We'd love to hear from you, and that would be great. We've got Birdine in the background. I'll introduce her in a moment, doing the moderating for us. So whether it's a morning, an afternoon, or an evening to you, welcome to this week's Leaderslive breakfast show. We just had Sarah drop out. 1 second. There you go. You're back in the room again. Well done. Don't know what happened there. We just dropped Sarah for a moment. Morning, Andrew Priestley. Good to see you this morning. That's great. So this morning's guest this morning is I'm hanging out with the ever so upbeat Sarah Hughes, founder of Boost Business Growth. And Sarah and I chat about becoming your best you this morning. And this is a subject that's close to my heart too, because in 2014 I wrote this book, which is called You Are More Than You Think. I'm very proud of that. It's quite a whopper, actually. So it's a similar subject to what Sarah's talking about. So I know a little bit about this subject. How are you doing, Sarah? Great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. I'm absolutely, my good friend Peter uses the phrase beyond awesome. So I think that's the phrase I'm sticking with this morning.
Oh, beyond awesome. I love that. Now, actually, now you say that, in the background here, Sarah, you've got this sign there saying be awesome. So there we go. So morning, Raj. Morning, Tilly Davis. Great to see you all here. Let me just bring back this slide with Sarah on. So Sarah is going to, she's spoken at lots of public events about this very topic. And it's something, as a business owner herself, that she's very passionate about. And this applies to this being your best you, becoming your best you. It applies to us as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as SME, CMOs, leaders alike. It's a subject that applies to all of us everywhere. Sarah, I'm going to come back to you in just a tick. Let me just go through a couple of things. So quick one, we've got Birdine Hugo in the background as our moderator this morning. Let me just bring up the moderator slide. 1 second if I can find it. There it is. Say hello, Birdine.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, that's Birdine in the background. She's our moderator. She'll be checking the comments as we're going along and interacting with us and just keeping everything nice and smooth. So that's a vital role for us today, because when you go live, lots of things tend to, they can go a bit pear-shaped from time to time. So see you in a moment, Birdine. We'll come back to you, back and forth to you. Quick teaser this morning, folks. So this morning's Leaderslive chat, we'll start with the notion that now in this infinite sea of potential, folks, that exists all around us, how come we keep creating the same realities over and over again? Why do we keep having the same relationships? Why do we keep getting the same jobs over and over again? And isn't it amazing that we have so many options that exist, but we are kind of unaware of them? And is it possible that we are so conditioned, so locked into our daily lives that we kind of buy into the idea that we have no control at all. And yet Sarah and I chat about a different way of thinking this morning that says what's happening within us, what happens within you, what happens in each one of us, creates what is happening on the outside of us. So that's a kind of, the starter this morning. And today, we're exploring, it's great that you've joined us this morning. We're going to explore the topics of what does it mean to be the best version of yourself? What have ironing boards and surfboards got to do with being your best self? I don't know. We'll come to that in a moment. Sarah's going to talk about the 1% rule and how to kickstart your growth. That's going to be an interesting topic too. And there's, according to Sarah, there's only 4 actions you can ever take. So we're going to be talking about that today. All of these things to help us, and how just one line and one dot can transform our hurdles and what we need to overcome into our doorways. And we're going to explore the whole world of fear. What does that mean? And, what aspirational actions will you set yourself for 2022? They're quite a useful topic, especially in these pandemic times, right? When we keep setting goals for ourselves and then something happens in the background again. So, but when we put all this together, what do we got? So we got bibbity bobbity boo. So that's where we're going today. If you don't know me, I'm Andrew Jenkins. As always, we love interact with us today, people. Chat with us, and especially ask questions and comments. Birdie will pick them up. Don't be shy. Smash those likes and thumbs up too, folks. We really appreciate those as we're going along. It helps us to keep motivated. So please keep the likes and the thumbs up going. And please subscribe to my LinkedIn newsletter. I've put a link in the feed this morning. And please let me know if our audio is coming through too as well. So so no pressure, Sarah, says Andrew Priestley. So brilliant, nice one. So let me just give you a round of applause, Sarah. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo. Let me just come on to the guest scene here. So Sarah, look, this morning, give us a sense of what does it mean to be the best version of yourself, ourselves. Take it away for us, Sarah.
Well, it's a really good question, Andrew. And what happened at a recent conference where I was the keynote speaker, the whole day actually of the conference was being your best self.
Yeah.
And one of the easy ways to identify because you can say to someone, be your best self, and understandably they're like, but who is my best self? Like, what's that mean?
What does it mean?
What we did, because it was a really good interactive conference, and what we did was just consider any time where you felt alive, you felt excited, you felt you were doing something in line with your values, you felt valued, just as a starting point, because it can be really difficult for people.
Yeah. When
When you say to them about be your best self, they just don't know where to start sometimes.
What does it mean for people? Yeah.
Absolutely. And then it was so good because people were just actually being really vulnerable and really open and being really courageous in sharing sometimes quite personal insights. But it was about, one was a wonderful woman that had been married for 40 years and had been started running marathons with her husband.
Wow.
And for her best self was actually the ability to build and maintain a wonderful marital relationship, and to keep adding extra things in, extra challenges, like, right, we're going to start running marathons together now. And obviously she wasn't in her 20s because they've already been married for 4 years. and it just means so many different things to different people. Some of it's like having that caring or mentoring role. And it can be anything because there's no judgment. It's all about what you perceive to be your best self.
Yeah. Okay. No judgment. What you perceive to be your best self. Now, actually, Sarah, now that you've mentioned that, there's a couple of quotes here. So this is one from Dolly Parton. Find out who you are and do it on purpose. Love that. That's a great one. Sarah chose this one. And this is another one that Sarah chose, which I also like as well. The goal is not to be better than the other man, but your previous self. I love that. Have you got a personal story here to share, Sarah, at all?
I think, it's interesting because we were chatting about this beforehand, weren't we, Andrew? And I'm often don't share sort of my personal story just because I think, well, I'll share it if people ask or if it's relevant.
Of course.
and I think sometimes people can see me sort of stood when I do the public speaking or I'm doing the mentoring or coaching, and they might think, oh well, it's easy for her, isn't it? Because if you come across as confident, obviously, and that's fine, and I am a confident person, but it was really just the fact that my emotional and mental health battles sort of started late teens, and having crippling anxiety, clinical depression,
Wow.
3 full nervous breakdowns. That's what the sort of the journey of my life has been in many ways over many decades.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting, because I was thinking the other night about, what's it given me?
Yeah.
So, when people say, oh, why has this happened to me? I'll often turn it around and say, why has this happened for me? And it's really, for me, I would never have done the amount of personal development and personal growth work that I have done, which has been a lifelong process. And I hope it carries on, because the minute it doesn't, I may as well push off this mortal coil anyway, is my view. Because every day I'm just learning something. And I would never have done, there's that whole quote about an unexamined life is a life half lived.
Oh, I love that. An unexamined life is a life half lived. Very nice.
And so that's what's starting with that in life. And, having had that go on for many decades, which I'm in a really different place now with it all.
Yeah.
But it's taken real work, determination, and the idea of just I'm bigger, and I don't identify myself with these conditions.
You are more than you think, right? I like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We'll come to a couple of comments in a moment. That's a really, I like the way you started that. And it's the story we play in our heads. And we've talked about this a few times on Leaderslive in various different guises, actually. The story that runs in our head is the story that predicts our life. And we can either have a bad story or a good story. And that actually is the responsibility of our choice. Tony Robbins would say, well, what's good about the situation you're in? This is quite a tough question to answer at times. So, yeah, quite a tough one. Now, Andrew Priestley asks, what is your background? So quickly, Sarah, what's your background here?
Well, Andrew, that's a really interesting question, because my background is actually a marketer. So I run a marketing business called Business Growth. But then I also trained to be a business coach and a mentor.
Right.
And the sort of background, in a way, is the years of therapy, the years of personal development, the daily learning.
Putting it all together, right?
And putting it all together. And just, so I'm not a psychologist. And it's just interesting, because I do get asked to do a lot of things, like I was asked to do a webinar for a client on imposter syndrome.
We talked about that a few weeks ago, actually. Yeah, we're picking it up again in February, actually.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Imposterism, yeah.
And so I did all the research, and I put loads and loads of time into the research. But it's just the fact that, because I do such constant learning, and I've got frameworks of, like, I'm looking at Gestalt therapy or internal family systems therapy, or all these different therapeutic models and frameworks.
Lifelong learning, right?
And so it's because of that, and actually just observing. So much, there's a wealth that we breathe in.
We're all we're all highly experienced people, if only we observe. Tilly says this is so we can bring Tilly's comment up here. So Tilly Davis, morning Tilly. To be able to build a successful business is what it means to be what does it mean to be my best self? I think is what she's saying there. Yeah.
Brilliant. And what's great with that is it's making it like a juicy goal. So when we build a successful business, what does that then give us? Is
the juice worth a squeeze, right?
I've never heard that before, but absolutely.
Just came to me. Okay. So you were talking about, Sarah, thinking about the audience for a moment, were you going to talk about sort of achieving listing 3 or 4 achievements.
Yeah,
is that something we can do here? Sarah, take us away on that.
Yeah. Again, what when I was doing the conference of Be Your Best Self, what I sort of started with after introducing the theme was it was a section called Loving What Is.
Loving what is. Love that.
Yeah, because I think people are really hard on themselves. And it's all about, like, if you ask someone a question, this is really, and you say to them, list your habits.
Yeah.
Not many people that will come back with positive habits or helpful habits. They'll go, I'm terrible at smoking. I go, no, you're great at smoking. You do it and you love it all the time. But this was just about building confidence in terms of, there's so much that's already really good.
Yeah.
We're really hard on ourselves. So just start with loving what is. So the question for everyone joining us today is, however big or small in any realm of your life, is to, what 3 achievements, and it'd be great to see them in the comments, would you like to sort of share with us? Because it would be awesome to just understand.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And these can be, things massive like running a marathon, through to the fact that someone got out of bed that morning. Because if you're feeling really low, getting out of bed that morning is a massive achievement.
Yeah. Sharon Moffat a couple of weeks ago was talking about exactly that. So folks, in the comments field, just list out 3 great achievements that you've had. In your lives, and we'll pick those.
One.
Yeah, all right. Just the one might be good. So, Andrew, in the meantime, says this. I know what it is to be my worst self. We're so good at that, aren't we? And we're brilliant at finding out what we don't want, or our worst selves because of our habits, but we very rarely spend time to think about, what is it that we've achieved? What are we really proud of? So here's your opportunity, folks. What are you really proud of? Pop them in the comments. Birdie will pick them up. Raj says this. Thank you, Raj. You're more than you think. The Return to Your Authentic Self. It was a great book, Andrew Jenkins. Thank you very much. I'm loving that comment, of course. Thank you very much, Raj. Okay, so chip in, folks. We'd love to hear your views and your greatest achievements. Don't be shy, chip in. So when we chatted last, Sarah, you mentioned the importance of dreaming big.
Absolutely.
As part of reaching towards your best self. Tell us more about that.
I think it's starting with the idea that, let's just start with the idea that anything's possible. So if money were no option, if time were no option, no factor, what could it be? And it's just the idea that if we think big and we think huge, even if you only get 50% of the way there, I guarantee it's going to be a load more than if you thought small.
Yeah. So think big, folks.
So it's just that idea of think massive. And even if you only get 50%, it's still a hell of a lot longer and a bigger vision and dream and achievement than if you start and you think small at the very beginning. Yeah.
And, earlier you said, I did the teaser about what have ironing boards and surfboards got to do with this, Sarah? So where does that phrase fit into this?
This is a quote that I saw about 3 years ago.
I love this.
And it says, an ironing board is a surfboard that gave up its dreams.
Oh.
Be the surfboard.
Be the surfboard. That resonates with me because I'm a big surfer. So, right, we've got comments coming in thick and fast here. Let's just go to Birdine here. Birdine, what's going on? Birdine in the chat, in the comments field.
Are we getting some great achievements here? Maria's got a nice one where she said, my 15-year relationship and 3 children are by far my greatest achievement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice. 3 children. Yeah, a great achievement. Absolutely. Yeah. So what else?
Then we're moving forward. So Tilly said, I'm really proud of becoming a public speaker, even though I am a very shy introvert.
Yeah.
That does happen a lot where
Doesn't
introverts actually become speakers, and they're able to be their true self there. Cecile, I hope I am pronouncing that correctly.
Cecile.
Personal development in becoming my true self, being a single parent, making a life here, a country that was not mine.
Wow, Cecile, brilliant. I love that.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah. Any others?
That's amazing. Then Joe Cooper said, my daughter is my greatest achievement. That's amazing. Andrew said, we know that whatever goal you aim for, you will fall short. So set a big goal.
Set a big goal, folks. Yeah.
Well, you might
big hairy
get there,
goal,
Andrew. You
Sorry?
might actually get there because Tim Peake did set a goal to be an astronaut.
Can't get a bigger goal than that, I don't think. It's
Pretty big.
Brilliant.
And then we've got a last one here from Christopher. Achievements, my daughter, 28 years in my job and starting my own webcast.
Yeah, whoop. Shout out for Christopher Green.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, I like that.
And then Julian also sent a comment to improve access to the global provision of mental health care through utilizing technology in our platform, giving choice, empowerment, and tools to use when they want, allowing a virtual therapist when not in therapy.
Now, that
That's
sounds
great.
really interesting, doesn't it? And Dr. Julian, please get hold of me if you want to come on to Leaderslive to talk about that. That sounds like a really interesting topic. We've talked a lot about well-being and mental health, throughout. I've had 32 of these sessions now, so within those 32 sessions, we've picked up this topic. We're not afraid of this topic, Julian. So please get in contact with me. That might be quite interesting. Okay, so you talked about the things that help us to reach our best selves, and dreaming big is one of them. What are the cornerstones here?
Well, for me, when you say for me, the cornerstones and for me, they are fun, being connected to people, ideas, creativity, being in nature, and challenge. So those are my five, because I've done the work on knowing what those five are. And so it's just understanding, what are the things that float your boat, because to achieve anything, you're going to have to put some work in. Yeah. So you've got to really want to do it, and they've got to be congruent with who you are and what does bring that spark and that sense of joy. So for me, it's sort of understanding what that might be. And then I don't know if you sort of mentioned cornerstones, but would you like me to talk about the 4 actions, the only 4 actions?
Oh, the 4 actions. Yeah, we could go. Yeah, let's go on to the 4 actions. Before you do that, you talked about, loving what is before we finish this particular time. I really love that. And what if anything was possible was something that you said as well, Sarah, which I thought that was really quite profound, that, and that's about kind of thinking about your options where there's no constraints, where you could wave a magic wand at it, what could be, and don't let impossibility get in the way, because as Muhammad Ali said, impossible is just a big word. I'm possible is where that comes to. So, and I think that's a really great way of setting our big goals. What if there were no constraints? What if there was a magic wand? What would my superhero do? Those kind of things are really helpful. So, talk about the 4 actions then. That would be really useful.
This was something that I discovered. I went on this 4-day creative consciousness experience in Brussels several years ago, which really was out there.
Blew your mind.
Oh my! Well, yeah, because in so many ways. But
Sorry
this
about
was
the pun.
no, I know. This was one of the learnings from that was that there are only ever 4 actions that we can do in life, and I've just done a little drawing to. Is that it's
the right way around. Yeah.
Okay, so the first action is it's something that's helpful, and you enjoy doing it.
Right.
So if obviously it might be, if you like exercise, it could be that, or it could be, for example, meditation, or it could be quality time with family.
Brilliant.
The second action is that it's helpful, but you don't necessarily like doing it.
Okay. It's helpful, but you don't like it. Yeah.
Exercise could fit into this, or maybe study, because you might not actually enjoy parts of the study, but it's going to be getting you on your way to your goal. The third action is it's unhelpful or unhealthy, but you enjoy it.
So you enjoy it, but it's not good for you, right?
That's right. And obviously, you know, that box of Maltesers when you start watching the film.
Oh, I see.
Or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fourth action is it's unhelpful and you don't enjoy it. And that, for example, might take the form of a gambling addiction.
Okay, so not good for you, but and you don't enjoy it, but you're absolutely hooked to it.
But people will still do it.
I'm with you. Okay, gotcha.
So what I do in my life is I constantly assess, honestly, what am I doing right now and which of the four is it?
Ah, so that's a great checklist to kind of keep you into the top two and rather than the bottom two. Is that right, Sarah?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's simple, isn't it?
It is that simple. You can
it.
only ever do 4 actions.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, and yet we can get so addicted to doing the bottom two, can't we? You know, as you said, you know, the Maltesers on the settee type of thing. Yeah, okay. Lovely.
So those are the 4.
Those are the 4. Great. I love that. I really... Cecile just jumps in here and says this. So let me just push this out the way. So I have also retake on a full-time degree at my age to change my career to become my own boss. You know, we're never too old, right? You know, however old Cecile is, you're never too old.
No, absolutely not.
And Cecile finishes off with this on your 4 actions. This will be, I think, great idea, Sarah. Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. And I think Christopher Greeno says the same thing. This says a great way of viewing things. So yeah, I like that. These little simple things, they're the bits that make the difference. That makes the difference. They're just tiny little things, aren't they? Quite often. I like that. Thanks, Christopher. Okay, so keep the comments coming, folks. Let me just think about where we're going next. So, you know, we hear from experts that we have to take responsibility for our own growth, you know, and why should we bother? But and you know, you've said that, look, you have to put the effort in here. You have to work hard at this. This doesn't come free in cornflakes, does it? You know, there's no, you know, whilst we can think about, you know, thinking about our options where there's no constraints and have a magic wand, that just gets our ideas flowing, but actually to get there we've actually got to do the hard work, right? So why should we bother? You know, that smacks of a bit of a belief statement here. What's going on here, Sarah? Tease this one open for us.
Well, I think why should we bother? Because life is a gift.
Yeah.
And what do we want our life to stand for? And you know, I just think, I mean, reading one of my favourite books is Man's Search for Meaning.
Oh, I like that book.
Yeah, Viktor Frankl.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's basically that life comes down to growth and love. That's it. That's the whole. And so and as people, you know, we have no option but to grow. So why not embrace the growth? Because if we, you know, there's that whole idea of a comfort blankets or a comfort zone is a wonderful thing, but nothing grows there. So it's just constantly evaluating, where am I? Where do I want to be? Because we'll never get that second back in life ever again. And it's valuing it.
Valuing each moment. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and we'll never get that moment back again. And you talked about growth and love, and, you know, I think it's about daring to use those words, isn't it? I mean, you know, we're kind of used to the growth word because of fixed mindset, growth mindset, but there's more to it than that, you know, actually loving our lives, loving the people around us. And yet in the business world, we don't use those kind of words like love, joy, freedom. You know, these are big words and they're powerful, folks. You know,
they are.
You know.
I mean, because obviously my main profession is a marketer. And one of the formula that I share is that emotion creates motion.
Ooh.
And so it's so often that in business, because I specialise in business to business marketing, and you know, sometimes you see these statements written, and it's like they're not actually talking to a person, or there's no, you know, there needs to be an emotive element as part of the emotive, rational, reputational fit. It has to be there because people will be. They need to feel something to want to make a decision. Yeah. Be that, you know, for anything in life.
Feel it. Yeah, there's that. So it's appreciating our emotions and really getting to the core of those emotions, and then acting on those. So, you use the word, I love that actually, Sarah, emotion creates motion. So yeah, there is the emotion to it, which gives us the feeling, but then it's acting on those emotions to create motion and action, right, Sarah? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and
nothing happens without action.
no, and everyone talks about, Rhoda Byrne's The Secret.
Yeah.
But what most people don't know is that the follow-up book is called The Power.
Yeah.
And that's where you've got to do something. So once you've set your intention and you've worked out, you've got to know why you want to do something. And then it's moving towards, well, all right, what now are the actions that I need to take to achieve it? Because it's not going to happen when we're just sitting here dreaming. The dream's got to form part of it. Then I've got to do something. Yeah.
So it's like, get the passion, feel the feelings, try, and reach in our lives that precious gift of, love, joy, freedom, because those are the only things that exist, really, when we boil down to it. And yet we're sort of chasing the money, aren't we? Money, task. We can do too much action and not enough thinking. And the other thing you talked about was growth as part of that. And, it's interesting, isn't it, that when we grow in our 20s, we are a fully functioning adult. We can walk, we can chew gum, we can think, we can do all sorts of things. And yet that's not it. That just creates the fully functional adult, right? There is something more than that in life. You are more than you would think. And to get to our best self, we have to do a little bit of hard work to get into that growth space, where we feel comfortable in our own skin, first of all, and then grow to make a difference in the world and make the world better. What say you, Sarah?
I totally agree. And it's all about awareness as well, because I just liken that it is an onion, and every time we're just peeling back layers, and you think you know something. Yeah. And then you have another realization and another realization. And I just now expect this. And the minute you expect it, you can relax, because you just think it's just another realization. And then it's interesting, because when I went on that 4-day creative consciousness experience in Brussels, it did quite destabilize me, which I think was part of the process. It was 13-hour days of very intense workshops. And someone said to me afterwards, "Oh God, that was terrible. It's such a bad experience." I said, "No, it was just an experience." Yeah. And I think ultimately it will be a useful experience. And I refer back to the exercises all the time that I did. And that was so many years ago, because, the whole thing is, until we learn the lesson, we're going to keep, getting the lesson, aren't we?
Yeah, that's why things keep happening over and over again until we get over it and learn it, right, Sarah? Why do we keep having the same relationships? Why do we keep having the same jobs? Why do the same things keep happening to us over and over again? That's the bit we have to break. And, Sarah, I think that's really important, that part of this journey, if I can use that word, is that we have to learn to overcome part of ourselves here as well. And to do that, we need to disrupt the patterns, right? A topical discussion right now in the news because of the pandemic thing and this Omicron thing is that, the talk of a circuit breaker. And it's the same thing for our lives, isn't it? To have that circuit breaker in our lives that actually creates the disruption that allows us to get uncomfortable a little bit, to then reconfigure what needs to be reconfigured. Yeah. And there has to be a small death. Yeah.
In anything, there has to be a small death.
Small death, I like that. Yeah.
For new life or growth to happen, because if your glass is full, nothing, you just got to empty some of that glass, and that's where it's a small death that change will then come about, because you've allowed something new. You've created space for a new.
I've just written that down. I couldn't resist that. That's small death. I love that. In the Bible, Jesus would say, "Look, you've got to be born again," and I think that was a figurative discussion to say exactly the same thing here. So, talk to us a little bit about the important aspect of, when we get to our best selves here, is getting out of our own way, overcoming ourselves, overcoming our conditioning. Talk to us a little bit about that and the hurdles, that you can turn hurdles into doorways and things.
This was interesting, because I was doing some mentoring with, I volunteer for a really good organisation called Food in Community. Yeah. And they do sort of like food banks, and it's all about supporting communities and everything like that, and
Yeah.
avoiding food waste. And working with the co-founder, I was mentoring him on things like presentation skills and everything like that. And he was mentioning about a hurdle.
Oh, yeah. Let me just.
This is a hurdle. And I said to him, can I offer up a suggestion?
Just switched around so that you can write on the card if you need to.
And so this was the fact of talking about a hurdle. I said, can we just use one line and one dot? I don't know if you can see that okay?
Just move it over a little bit so we can see it this way. Yeah, so it gets me out of the way. Yeah, there we go. Put it in the centre. Perfect. Yeah, lovely.
I'm going to try and do.
This is Go for it, Sarah. We're going to be so intrigued by this.
Well, just the one line.
Yeah.
And the dot.
Oh, right. Lift it up a little bit.
Into a door.
So the hurdle becomes a doorway, right?
Yeah.
So that's what one line and one dot have got to do with turning a hurdle into a doorway, right?
So if you can reframe it.
Yeah, reframe, right.
Yeah, if you reframe it as, and I got the hurdle to the door idea from an amazing woman called Temple Grandin. If anyone, I think the film's on Amazon, don't normally support Amazon Prime, but it is on Amazon Prime. And it's an amazing story of a woman who is, really on the autistic spectrum, didn't have language at the age of 4. The psychiatrist said to her mother, institutionalise her. Wow. She'll never do anything. She'll never speak. She won't function at all. And Temple Grandin now tours the world. She lectures. She's transformed animal husbandry. But it's one of the things, it's a teacher that Temple Grandin had, which was like, think of it as a door. Everything's a doorway.
Everything's a doorway.
Every fear you have, it's a doorway.
Yeah. What good can come out of getting over this hurdle? Right. Yeah. It's fantastic. I love that. Now, we're going to come into comments in a moment, but just I wonder whether it's appropriate at this point to talk about. So, when you're tempted to react to the same old way, the same old thing, ask yourself, ask if you want to be a prisoner of the past or a pioneer of the future. Love that, Sarah. It's one of Sarah's chosen quotes there. Yeah. Thank you for that. Right, let me just quickly pop to the moderator seat. Berdine, what's going on in the comments field?
We've got a comment here from Joe. Joe said, you're absolutely right. Time is the most precious thing in our lives.
Yeah, spot on, Joe.
Yes, then Cecile left a few comments saying, I think it's important to be grateful for simple and any small things in our lives. Otherwise, no happiness within, which is absolutely true.
Spot on. Love that.
Then she also mentioned creativity is an extension of ourselves and permit to discover something new also.
Oh, and creativity is an extension of ourselves and permit to discover something new also. And do you know what, Berdine and Sarah, and all of us listening to this, I was at a meal at a friend's house once, and their children were there, and one of the children was saying, I really want to be, an artist, and the mother really quickly back to him or her, I can't remember which. I think it was her son. And she said, look, there's no money in art. You can't do that. You've got to do something logical. There's no money in it. You can't support a family in it. And creativity is our biggest gift. And how quickly we can just pour cold water over it, isn't it? Sorry, Berdine, you were saying that does Cecile go on to say something else here?
Yes, she spoke about the growth when we touched on growth. She said that's right, overcoming our fear to also grow and make our souls also become a better version of ourselves.
Oh, wow, that's a beautiful quote. Cecile, you're on it this morning. I absolutely love that. Oh, that's right, overcoming our fear to also grow and to make our souls become a better version of ourselves. And you know what? It's probably that our souls are already the best version of ourselves, and we've just got to get out of our own way to get to our soul, perhaps, Cecile. I just wonder whether that's a thought that could add on to that. What else is going on, Berdine?
Maria said, I can really trap myself with my thoughts. I'm working so hard on this. And it's so easy to do that, isn't it?
Isn't it? And this is the story of our inner chatter that tells the story for us, you know, and our egos sometimes just get in the way and say, you can't do that, you're not good enough to do that. Da, 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 da. The story that goes on in our heads is the one that creates our reality, isn't it? Either we have the same thing keep happening to us over and over again, or we break the mold and do something different. Okay, like that. What else, Berdine?
Joe said it's an excellent way to look at things, Sarah.
Oh, yeah, I think that's the doorway, isn't it? The hurdle to the doorway, I guess, Joe.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Lovely, like that.
And Maria said that she absolutely loved this.
Nice one, Maria. Great. Yeah.
And Cecile said we should have a funny emoticon on LinkedIn. Aha.
Yeah.
That would be a great idea.
Brilliant
I can
idea.
change the algorithm to add that in.
Right, yeah, I like that. Yeah, brilliant. Love that. Yeah. Right, let's petition for that. Yeah, what would it be, I wonder? Anyway, so there we go. Right. So that was, now talk a little bit about fear. So that's just come up in the comments there. What say you about fear?
Well, the way that I view fear is, first of all, we all have it. You know, everyone's got fear about something.
Yeah.
And actually fear can be healthy because, you know, but I'm just writing down for you what I saw. A great guy called Brian Tracy.
Oh yeah, Brian Tracy. I know Brian Tracy.
And he wrote down what his take on fear was, which I'm writing down for you now.
Ooh. Dun, 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 dun.
And I use this in my life all the time, and it really helps me. So it's false evidence. You might need to swap.
I'm just swapping it over.
Yeah,
I just got the scene locked. There you go. There you go.
So it's false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
And this is just the fact of, you know, if we can see again something as an opportunity or a door to open, or even like in our brains, the anxiety emotion is very close to, or fear emotion is very close to excitement.
Yeah.
And so even if we could just think, instead of thinking, oh, I'm afraid, or it's thinking I'm excited, and to just sort of sit with it, just to, I mean, I'd started sea kayaking in the summer, and which is quite a challenge because until now I can't swim, and I'm saying until
that is a
now.
Challenge.
Oh, don't! This is a massive one for me, actually. The swimming. But what I'd want to do, I'd started kayaking anyway, and I thought I really want to sea kayak. And so when I was in the Isles of Scilly with my bestie over the summer, she was like, "Let's go sea kayaking." And so I thought, okay, let's do it. But I'd got a goal when we were at this centre getting the kayaks ready. There was a lifeboat out way, way, way in the distance. And I thought, right, I am going to kayak out to that lifeboat. And you had to pass all these yachts. And it was, you know, and you can hear all the tinkle and the yachts and the movement of the wind.
Yeah.
And that is what I kept saying to myself, because I was starting to freak out a bit about, you know, being on the ocean. And it's just such a massive expanse of water. And I just kept visualizing the lifeboat and saying to myself, false evidence appearing real.
Step by step, you get better and better, don't you? Every day in every way.
Focus on the lifeboat. And I did get there.
Yeah. So little by little, you overcame your fear there a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now I'm sea kayaking as often as I can get out there.
Brilliant.
And have started swimming lessons.
Good. I was going to say. And those swimming lessons, Sarah, those have started as well. Good.
Oh, they've started and paused. I'm now starting hypnotherapy for that.
I can help you there, Sarah. I'm good at that kind of stuff. So I can help you with that. Okay, that's a great story. And the key for fear then is, you know, getting over the step by step, overcoming our fears little by little bit, then a little bit more, then a little bit more, and then that opens up a doorway where we can't, you know, like your example, you know, step by step, you know, stroke by stroke, as you're kayaking towards that, you know, you're facing your fear, you're settling in with it, but you're also allowing your ego to, look, I've got this, we'll overcome this. And you hold your ego by the hand and kind of go, look, I know you're scared, but, trust me, we'll be all right. And little by little, your ego gives up the fear, right?
Yeah.
And then you end up opening up another door, which then enables you to go swimming. That's really interesting. Thank you for that. That's a great story. I love that. We'll come back to the chat in a moment. Top tips, Sarah. We'll talk about aspirational actions for ourselves. What can we aim to achieve in 2022?
One of the things that...
Oh, that was Alexa just decided to come in for some reason. Don't know
What's Alexa say? Well, one of the actions that I do is I do a vision board.
Oh.
And so this is, and I know you had a Queen of Vision Boards on recently.
I did, yeah, last week. Yeah, no, week before last.
It's a bit big, but this is sort of one of my vision boards.
That's nice.
Oh. Yeah. So I'm just about to do my vision board, and what I do every year is I have an overarching theme.
Yeah.
And I think the theme that I'm going to go for, the theme for 2021 was to live life in HD.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so that was my overarching theme for 2021.
Yeah.
And also, I think we'll be coming on to it, but the amazing moments. So to have a target of amazing moments.
Is that this slide here, that one there?
Yeah. So this is in the top. They're just sort of folders that are on my phone. The large squares that I took a screen grab of. And what I do is when I was 50, I decided, right, I'm going to have a minimum of 50 amazing moments this year. And then what I do is when I have the amazing moments, I sort of take a photo of it, or I note it down, or a video of it. And then I have a target, and I did achieve 50 in my 50th year. And then, so for example, because I'm now 52, coming up to 53. So next year, my target is 53 amazing moments.
Wow, brilliant.
And and this year I'm on at the moment 49. So 50. So I've got 2 amazing moments to achieve.
Wow.
But you then set your life up. You set your life up to then go and what can I do that's most likely to yield amazing moments?
Yeah, love that. And that just reminds me of a quote, actually. Is it this quote here? No, where is it? This quote here. Life is not measured in the number of breaths we take, but the moments that take our breath away. I like that. And folks, look, our smartphones are not just for making phone calls and checking our emails. These are life-changing devices, where we can use them in these ways, where we can create vision boards and take pictures of them, or, the bucket list, the amazing moments concept. I love that. That's just absolutely brilliant. Look, we're running out of time here. It's just want to pick up the comments. Berdin, what's going on in the comments right now?
So after asking the question of what fear means to others, or what they take on fear, Cecile said, she first said, well done, Sarah, for overcoming your fear.
Oh, yeah.
Christopher said, fear from experience awareness remains.
Oh,
you have to unlearn fear.
Love that. Yeah, Sarah, that is so good, isn't it? That from Christopher. That's
really good one.
Really
I'm
like
write that down.
Yeah, we're all going to take that one. From experience, awareness remains. You have to unlearn fear. Brilliant. Carry on, Berdine. Love that. Well done, Christopher.
Joe said, my biggest fear is the dark. And then he said, I'm so going to borrow those amazing moments. There's so much we do and see, but don't take them on board.
Yeah, life passes us by, right? And what Sarah's doing is making a note of, just becoming aware of those as they're coming along and setting the intention for that. I love that. Great. Yeah.
And then Cecile said, great idea for amazing moments and vision board per year. You are full of amazing ideas, Sarah. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, thanks, Cecile. Yeah. And I can't remember, Cecile, if you were on the vision board thing that we did on the 30th of November, but I'll send you a link to that, Cecile, because that's another part of what Sarah was just showing there is, well, how do you do a vision board? And the Queen of Vision Boards, Lisa Baker, talked all about that. So And actually, here's Sarah, living proof of that. She's done, she does her own vision boards in the same way. So fantastic. So, really interesting, what you've set yourself, Sarah, and, for us, for all of us here, what are you setting for 2022? What are you being purposeful about? For me, it's the second edition of, this book, You Are More Than You Think, which I was talking about earlier, continuing to growing my Leaderslive, PDX, Leaderslive, to continue growing Leaderslive, and then online courses on my commercial activities on PDX. So those are two things, and to grow Inspired CEOs, which is another activity that I do. Those are mine. So I think that's I don't know who this is talking here, because it just says LinkedIn user. This is a really lovely, refreshing conversation reminding us that we are all human. We have fears. I think this is Debbie Reeve. So we have all, have, isn't that lovely? We should not follow the money. We should follow what we love. Absolutely. LOVE. Yes. Thank you both. Best content I've seen on LinkedIn this year. Whoop, whoop. Wow. Shout out to you, Deborah Reeve. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's really lovely to hear you say that. Thank you. So look, I hope you found this a useful topic, folks. It sounds like you have, with all the interactions we've got, and it's further food for thought for you guys. Let me just switch scenes. So where am I? I've lost the scenes. Here we go. That's a bit better. So, thanks again, Sarah. Interesting perspective we've had this morning. And by the way, as a public speaker and a conference speaker herself, Sarah is very happy to speak at any event you have coming up in the new year, and her contact details are in the description of this event already. Christopher says, great morning of chat. Well done, Andrew and Sarah and Birdie. Yeah, well done. Fantastic. Thank you for that. So, before I get on to what's going on next week, and I've got a shout out for that in a moment, quick word on what is my purpose and why with Leaderslive, because that's what we've been talking about this morning as well. This is all my journey to my best you as well. And it starts with the idea and the passion that you are more than you think. And that's the title of, of my book when I published it, You Are More Than You Think. So Leaderslive is my freely available kind of edutaining expression of this, folks. And anyone can join into this, and enjoy taking part in extraordinary conversations. And the maxim of this, of Leaderslive, is really about I to the power of we, and Sarah and I have been sharing that today with you guys. If you're interested, then, my other commercial offerings that I can help you with is, you can book me for inspiring keynote speaking as well, or both of us, Sarah and I, we'll riff with each other on stage. That would be so cool. Good. I talk about growth mindset, I talk about high performance and business change, and my company PDX, that boosts your business success through developing high performing teams, leadership programs and executive coaching. Lastly, I run a subscription based community called Inspired CEO. So if you are an SME CEO, I invite you to experience how we collaborate to play a bigger game, folks, in our business lives. So please contact me directly for any information on that. The links will be in the description shortly. My next Leaders Live will be Tuesday the 4th of January. I'm having a bit of a break, like us all maybe, over this Christmas period. It'll be at the usual time, Tuesday 8:45. I'll be chatting to the highly experienced 1000 Steps Sales Training Director Ray Black and our topic will be the art of ethical social selling in a virtual era. Fascinating topic. It's been a passion of mine too, this topic, since about 2015, when that term started to emerge, social selling. And I've built my entire business model around that whole concept. So I'm really looking forward to hanging out with Ray Black for a useful sales-based conversation, and hope that you will benefit too. So be there or be square, folks. In the meantime, just before I say goodbye, Mel Evans says, thank you to you both. Lovely positive start to the day. Cecile, yes, following the path of our heart, I think, is one of a secret of a successful life. Yeah, spot on. Following the path to our, sorry, I said that one. And then this one here, thanks, Berdine, for putting this up. During the pandemic and negative news, it's great to have some positive learning. Yeah, I love that. Thank you. So, folks, that's it from me, and it's goodbye from Sarah. A good day from Sarah. We'll see you all again next week. Have a brilliant Christmas, folks. From Sarah, Berdine and myself, we all wish you a great Christmas, a happy new year to you all, folks. Happy Christmas, and we'll see you again on the other side. Cheers for now, folks. Bye-bye.